Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Hello. How is everyone doing?
Hello.
Look at us all put together tonight. Hello, chat. Oh my gosh, Cosmic, I didn't realize it comes on at different times. Oh no, that's why Sylvia's not up here, because it's just coming on for her. Oh well, that sucks.
On the
Well, we'll
HDR with different time brackets, so they might have missed
that. Dang it. Yeah, it was coming on right after. It came on like right after like it played, and I was waiting for inside the episode, and then that didn't come on. But look, this is a learning curve, everybody. I've never done a weekly thing like this. So, all right. Well, Sylvia, I guess you'll have to catch the recap. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to be a panelist. The next time. But hello, everybody, and thank you for joining. Hi, Patrick and Rebecca. Sorry. How are y'all doing tonight? What did y'all think about the episode?
I liked it.
It's a big one. It was a big one.
And I heard this was the second worst episode of the season. So if that's the case, holy crap.
Well, then we're in for a good season, because, oh my gosh, yeah, the times are confusing. So next time I'll have to figure out how to do this to where everybody's already seen it, and then we can do this. So maybe, was that your dragon?
No,
did your dragon just make noise?
No, that was my ringtone, and it's Pirates of the Caribbean after I got done watching the Johnny Depp trial. So
I see. Hey, sweet. Hi, Zelda. Hello to Stephanie and Irish Lass, Knockoff Wallet, Ruth Ann, Virgie, Paula, Cosmic Crazy, Critalyn. Hello. Thank you all for coming. So we have an intro. How cool was the intro?
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was kind of gross, though. It's
blood. Yeah.
I liked it, but y'all, blood doesn't bother me. So, obviously. So I kind of was confused. Not only that, I had to get up and go get the dog, and like Jason's like, turn off the TV in there and all this other stuff whenever the first part was coming on. But they started talking about, and I think they were talking about the stepstones. Is that the correct thing?
Crabber.
Yes.
And the crab people. So what I'm assuming, and I didn't get it till the end of the episode, that there's problems with these ships being hijacked, as I guess they're delivering supplies. So they're trying to weaken Westeros, and these weird looking people are taking the pirates, I guess that is, and nailing them to a stake and letting crabs just eat their bodies. It looks really painful.
Yeah.
Who's your dragon, Rebecca?
Who's my dragon? I don't know. We need to name him. Collective effort.
There's an app you guys can get, and you can have your own dragon. I don't know if you guys saw the commercial after the show, but anyway, we can get into that later. So I kind of didn't understand that, but Corlys is a big, Lord Corlys is a big person in this episode, and he's pissed about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did y'all think about all that? I was kind of confused. I was like, what is going on? Who are these people?
Well, something I realized that we didn't realize last week, the reason why his hair is blonde is because he's from ancient
Valeria.
Yeah, that's why his hair was blonde. I was like, maybe it's because he's in the sun so much. No.
Yep.
Me and Rebecca have been doing research because I mean, I know, like I had to go through, and to get all this in my head, I had to trace the lineage of the first Targaryen and go down. And y'all, they really do believe in that and keeping that bloodline pure. Wowzers! King Viserys, his parents are brother and sister. Didn't realize that. But yeah, so that's why his hair is blonde, because he's an ancient, his family's from Valeria, hence his last name Valerian. So yeah, that I thought about that too, Rebecca, and laughed when I saw his hair this week. So we open up with that going on with the crab. Were they called crab people? Thanks, Steven. You're so sweet. I should have put it on what's it called? Subscribers only, because people are always trying to come in here and derail these streams. I'm just trying to mind my own business, Steven. Mind yours. Anyway, so Lord Corlys is pissed. Yep. His ships are gone. He's missing however many ships, 4 ships or something. And they have a small council meeting. Rhaenyra's pouring the wine, and she's kind of upstaging her dad. Yep. So go ahead, you guys.
Yeah, she speaks up. And that didn't go over too well with the council.
No, they didn't. And it also kind of, she got shot down, but she's like, hey, hello, Dad. Come get with the program. You have dragon riders. Why are we talking about fleets and ships and going over here with all these people when we could just ride the dragon over there? Problem solved. And so then he gets like, you know what? Why don't you go out? Well, he was choosing the night for the night, I wrote it down. They were basically holding interviews for the night King's Guard. Thank you. I was trying to say City Command, but anyway, City Watch. Yeah. So they've got all the sigils, and they've got different knights from different families, and so Rhaenyra goes and she's interviewing them, and guess who pops up again? The knight Kristen. I keep saying his name is Kristen.
Kristen, yeah.
The one that took
Dorne. Huh?
The one that took Daemon down.
Yes, exactly. Good looking Kristen. So I thought his name was Christian, but anyway, that's who she chooses. So it's okay, Brenda Faye. How are you? Oh, thank you, Steve. Mods, could y'all get these hijackers out of the chat, please? Thank you. So anyway. So y'all want to continue? Yeah, I don't have to be the only one that reads the timeline. I took so many notes. But so go ahead. What happens after that?
Well, there was a lot of kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Where they were kind of showing us kind of things in the beginning that were going to happen at the end. I mean, of the episode, kind of foreshadowing. That's the word I'm looking for. A lot of what was going to happen, and it's nice to see, just all the things that happened. I mean, there was a couple of things that were trigger warning if you, if you weren't prepared for it. So I just
like what?
Well, I mean, at the beginning, let's talk about all the blood kind of flowing into the center there. I mean, that was one of the things, and then we'll get into the whole marriage request.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was shocked.
It was total cringeworthy.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we'll continue on the timeline here, but yes, so we're Lord Corlys is not happy that his men are being fed to crabs. He's losing his ships, and the biggest thing is he's worried about the trade route being closed down because that's going to affect his, his business. That's how it was back then. You ship it, you keep the channels open, and so yeah.
Well, and it looking like the realm itself is weak. So
again,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, again, really. And so they're basically going to, and then also while they're doing this interview, we see Rhaenys just kind of peering over from the balcony and watching the whole shit show go down, and she doesn't look very happy. So what happens after that?
What about the king having to get his hand nursed with maggots?
That's coming. I wrote it all caps. Oh my God! Now the finger maggots. Okay, yeah, that's a huge deal. But before that, let's see really quick. So I'm going in line. So they also go to the king and Alicent. And I knew that this was going to happen because of the research I was trying to do this week. God, I spoiled so much for myself, but I'm so glad this popped up in this episode because I didn't know how long it was going to take. But Alicent's in there. Then they go, Alicent and Rhaenyra go to I'm assuming like some kind of a chapel where they're praying to the gods. And she's kind of manipulating Rhaenyra a little bit. Like Alicent's being a little, I mean, in my opinion, what do y'all think? Do y'all think she was manipulating her? She's kind of talking her into opening herself up to the king getting remarried, right? Because I didn't take great notes on that section.
I think a little bit. I think one side, she is her friend. She started off as always just being her friend. So she's trying to help her mourn the passing of her mom. But on the other hand, she knows what her dad is like aiming at. So
I love that you guys know all it's the sept. Thank you. The terminology is everything. And I still didn't, even though I did put in some time this week, I still don't get all the terms, but it is what it is. Okay. So she is, and she's trying to tell her, go just light the candle and try to pray. And then we cut over to the king asking for Corlys and Rhaenys' advice on getting remarried. And they're like, yeah, you should definitely get remarried. You need to join our houses. You need to make a strong connection between the two strongest families in Westeros and get with the program. And they're like, well, who do you suggest? Lady Laena. Yeah. Oh my God. She's just a little bitty tiny thing. She's only 12.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
Isn't she cute? I love her hair too.
For marriage. And the poor little thing is so upset saying, I don't have to bed you till I'm 14. That just broke my heart.
Yeah. That's what my mom said. My mom said I wouldn't have to bed you till I'm 14. That was an interesting. I mean, it was definitely an uncomfortable walk. I mean, and he's feeling it. You can see that, and he mentions it later on. But it was quite interesting, and it led up to a good conversation between Rhaenyra and Rhaenys.
Oh yeah, it sure did. So before they do that conversation, then we go to now first it was the back, now it's the finger. So last week his finger gets cut on the Iron Throne, and this week that finger is gangrenous. And I found it really cool that they used maggot therapy because, as you know, I'm a nurse, and we still to this day use maggot therapy in medicine. So of course our maggots are sterile, and they come from high grade, pharmaceutical companies, but that is a way to, and if y'all are wondering I'm sure y'all could piece it together, but the idea is to eat off all of the necrotic flesh so that you could basically debride that wound by use of the maggots eating away all the deadness of the finger, thereby healing the finger because you'll have fresh skin. Sorry, another trigger warning. That's how it works. I figured y'all want to know. That's how it works.
I didn't know that was a real thing. Interesting.
Oh yeah, it's a real thing. Definitely a real thing. But like I said, the ones that they use in medicine are sterile and everything else. And then I found something weird and maybe I misheard because I kept having to tell Jason, turn it up, I can't hear. But it sounded like the Grand Maester then says, while he's getting his finger fixed, he's like the wound. He says something in reference to the wounds made in the small council. And I was like, that's that's kind of choicey wording. Yeah, I know it is gross. Oh, I have to show Ruth Ann's granddaughter tonight. We've got to show that because this talk about impressive. I'm glad I saw Ruth Ann. Let's see. Let me see. But y'all continue while I do this.
Yeah, kind of going with what you were saying there about, that was a comment made about the wounds made in council. I mean, it really, it really kind of flashes back to what they were talking about just a few minutes earlier in the episode, and then just went from there.
Yeah. I don't know. I took like a short little list of notes, and then I was like, I'm just going to watch the episode. That one quote, the men would rather torch the realm before seeing a woman ascend the Iron Throne. I'm like, as much as that's been in all of the trailers and stuff, like you could just see it's almost her little bit of bitterness of her not being chosen to be queen, but also at the same time, she's speaking truth to her because she's like, I know that they're not going to let you ascend the throne.
Yeah. And she's kind of trying to get under her skin and kind of decrease her confidence. And I love the way Rhaenyra just kind of fires back at her. And she's like, you're trying to piss me off. You're not going to do it. Like, this isn't working. Keep on, though. And then, she fires right back at her. And this is while Rhaenyra is looking over and seeing the king walk with Lady Lena, she was like a little baby doll through the gardens or wherever they were. Irish lass, you can feel free to correct me. And she's and Rhaena says this is not the order of things, and she's throwing major shade, and then and so that whole, you could tell there's about to be some friction in between Rhaenyra. And another thing, I keep looking at her hair, and y'all, maybe there was something back in the day that maybe people fix their hair like that. But then I kept looking, and I'm like, or is it because of the bloodline? Is that her head or is that her hair? Because it reminded me of when you dress your kids up for like Dr. Seuss Day at school. That's what it reminded me of, the way it's all pointed in the back. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because that's
that could be a lot of teasing and stuff too, though. We don't know.
But it also could be. And then Jason was like, well, maybe that bloodline situation's the reason why he keeps while the king doesn't heal. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's the issue at all. I think we're going to find out there's got to be something to this. Either he is just sickly, or that throne is coated in something poisonous, or I don't know. I've seen a lot of theories online, and I'm just not sure which one I believe yet. Hi, Franca. Not so different today, is it? So
I actually work for a company that has a woman CEO, and it's the best company I've worked for.
Well, there you go. There you have it. Hi, LaDonna. So now we're seeing some major sparks flying between Alicent Hightower and the king. Mm-hmm. She brings him a gift, and she looks so pretty. She does look so pretty.
I love all of her dresses.
Me too. But I feel like she's going to be a big bitch. But go ahead.
Now, overall, I think all of the female actresses that they've cast, I mean, they're all beautiful women, and they've done a really good job.
Oh, they've done an excellent job. Excellent. Because
it would have been like that. I mean, if we're talking about a period piece, it would have been like that. That it wasn't, it was like that back then.
It was like what exactly, though?
Oh, just who they chose for their wives and different things like that. That they weren't like, you wouldn't have somebody, not to be named on this channel, as your wife on that. I mean, that just wouldn't happen. You'd have the Brooks, you'd have the Rebeccas as your wives in those types of the period back then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. And I'd have to agree. And so not, that they have to choose their wives, wisely. So then as Alicent's giving him, the king who dropped his dragon statue like earlier in the episode, she brings him a new one. And then that little situation's interrupted. Sorry, I can't do two things at once. Y'all know me. And I'm trying to upload that Ruth Ann's granddaughter because y'all are going to be so impressed when I show you guys these pictures. Anyway, they're like, emergency, mayday, we've got a problem here. We have a stolen dragon egg. Dreamfire's egg's gone, and this is the same one you wanted to put in baby Balon's bed. And Damon's come and stole it. And he's and then they get to the council, and they're like, hey, Damon's getting married, and his whore, Massaria, is pregnant, and they want you to come to Dragonstone. He's evidently over there. He's got his whole city command's there. They got, a big army, and they've got the egg. So you're going to have to go figure out what to do.
Yeah.
So what did y'all think about that? I'm going
to steal the egg that was supposed to be meant for his baby. Like, that is so disrespectful on another level. He was just trying to do that little right before he left.
Yeah. Twist the knife.
Yeah.
And he did it with every choice he made in that whole situation.
Yeah, he sure did. It was all out of spite, every last bit of it, because we find out that Massaria is not even really pregnant. So she keeps looking at him like, what are you talking about getting married? What are you talking about? I'm pregnant. Hi, Dee. Hi, Maria. Hello, everybody coming in. And here we are again. And now I can't remember. Rhaenyra was listening to this conversation as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So, and so then Otto's like, no, King, you can't go. That's way too dangerous. I'll go in your stead. So he's preparing to go. And then as he's preparing to go on this, I think her name is Massaria, not Melisandre, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, you thought he said Melisandre. There's a lot of people that think she's going to make an appearance since she's centuries years old. I don't know if we talked about that last week. But so he's getting ready, and as Alicent's getting him ready, he's like, hey, you can go visit the king while I'm gone, or what? What's going on? Like, so did he really want to go to protect the king, or did he want to go so that he can, let Alicent go in there and flirt some more with the king and kind of really dig her feet in to get that place on the next to the king, so she could be the queen? What do y'all think?
Unpopular opinion, it might be. Who knows? I don't think that she particularly wanted to marry.
I don't either.
Like, I think she was just doing what her dad told her. So
you're getting that thumb going, that thumb.
Yeah.
She's like, she kind of was like, he goes, are you going to go see the king? She's like, if you want me to, I hadn't thought about it, I guess, and yeah, I got that vibe too. Like, she's, as much as I thought she was plotting and she wanted this, she seems really apprehensive about the whole thing. And she's just like, I don't know about this. I mean, but she is very young. I think in the books, Rhaenyra is supposed to be 4. And I think they said that in the books, she's 10 years older than Rhaenyra. So she's about 14 years old. I don't even know if they said her age yet, but from what I've read, but they obviously amped up Rhaenyra's age for this story. But so basically Otto goes to Dragonstone, and then my favorite scene in the whole episode is about to come up. Do y'all want to start talking about that? Whenever Otto goes and Damon's like, yeah, F you. I've got the egg. It's right here. Here, you want it? You want it? You can't have it. Look what I've got. And so Otto is not doing a very good job being the negotiator of the terrorist here at all. What do y'all think?
Horrible. I mean, the scenery alone is so different than when you saw Dragonstone in Game of Thrones. Yeah. It's almost more mystical, It's got more of that steam coming around. You can't really see things, which what I've heard is more true to the book, because it's supposed to be like in a volcanic region.
Mm-hmm.
Is why it's Dragonstone. But I thought that was cool that they changed up and kind of put it to more accurate to the book's description of the actual place to even just start off with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you see Bloodworm coming down, like, so they're talking, all of a sudden they talk about, he goes, you're going to start a battle with your king, dude. Is this really what you're going to want to do here? Like, this is about to start some major rifts in this whole situation. And instead of talking, they both draw swords. And then, then you see Bloodworm, I forget his name. It starts with the C. They're both of the dragons are C names, Coraxi and, I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, so you see him up on that mountain, like he is about to lower the boom on Otto and his men and Knight Kristen and all them. And before you know it, you hear the rumbling and you don't know what it is. And here comes Rhaenyra on the back of her dragon. I was surprised too, but there's something to this Zelda. I don't know if y'all have read the books, but I'm telling y'all, I spoiled the shit out of this show for myself last week when I was looking through this stuff, but it is what it is. I won't spoil it for you guys. But so here she comes on her dragon. She gets down and she's like, y'all better back up because he tends to be really, protective of me. So that she just walks her little pretty self right down the little bridge right in between all the men and Otto, and she walks right up to Damon. I'm sorry, but that part gave me chills today.
I think this was a becoming of age for her because she got shut down quite a bit early in the episode, and she's like, you know what, no more. Time for me to show my strength.
And that's exactly what she did. And she goes against her dad's orders. He tells her she can't leave King's Landing. She's like, screw you guys. I'm going to go take care of this and get my baby brother's egg back. And so, they're in the middle. They're fixing to have a throwdown. She walks right between them and she's like, hey, uncle, give me the damn egg, dude. I mean, listen, I'm done. Oh, thank you, Bushwatcher. Rebecca showed me how to do it. I didn't know. But so she's like, listen, and she's talking in old, High Valorian to her uncle, which is the way they communicate with the dragons. And she's like, listen, dude. She's like, if you don't like the way things are going, you're just going to have to kill me. So do it. I dare you, do it. Bring it. Let's get this over. Let's get this show on the road. Kill me. You can be the heir. And then it is what it is. And then, she questions his pregnancy. She's like, oh, well, you had a dragon egg in your bed when you were a baby. So I want the same for my child. And she says, you're having a baby. And that's when Massaria is really like, what the WTF? Damon, are you talking about? Like, I am not pregnant with your baby. She walks off. Damon looks at her. Damon looks at Rhaenyra, and he folds. And it was brilliant. And I loved it. What was y'all's take about that?
Go ahead.
Me? Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I thought that was so boss of her to just come in and kind of take charge of the situation. I mean, as much as her dad said that he was going to go down there, would his presence have had that impact? No way. She did. So, I don't know. I thought that was just a boss move by her.
And then she walks back. She looks at Otto like, bitch, I got this. As you were, fellas, as you were. Thank you for playing. I fixed this, but you can't see it, but it says Rhaenyra is a badass on my notes because she is. She really made herself, for the first time, she was very confident. She got the job done. She got right back on her dragon, headed back home. No harm, no foul, nothing to see here. Check you out later. And I was just like, yes. Oh my God. And then we cut to Massaria. Now she goes, I'm here to handle this shit with no bloodshed. Like, what are you fools all about to do? Kill each other? Because I'm here to take care of this business and we don't have to drop any blood. And she does it. And it was just good on you. You're really starting to look like a strong princess, a strong heir, stronger than your daddy, stronger than his hand. So it is what it is. She
gets the job done. She gets the egg back, and then she just leaves. She's like, did it. Bye.
Later. Not any sweat on my brow, bitches. Nope. And she does it. So then Massaria is like, dude, what are you talking about, Damon? They're having a discussion now back inside Dragonstone. Like, I'm not pregnant. I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to put my body through that. I'm scared to have a baby. I came to you to be liberated from fear. And here we are. You're talking about knocking me up. And this was never a topic here, nope. And so he's getting shut down by Massaria. And she just is like, I'm done. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to be pregnant. And I don't want to get hurt just by being associated with you as your second wife when you're already married, having your baby. My head will be hunted. Is that what you want? Is the way I took it. She's your Arya Stark. She's mine too. And I love her. We said last week, Irish Last, man, she just wants to ride dragons and eat cake. She reminds me so much of Arya. I love her. So,
don't threaten her with a baby.
Yeah. Don't be threatening me with no baby. And don't be speaking about my womb. This is mine, not yours. And your bloodline. Hell, I'm not going to be the one that throws this off. Y'all have been marrying your freaking brother and sisters all these years for what? Nothing for me to screw this up? I'm not messing this lineage up because, like I said, King Viserys, his parents were brother and sister. Then, King, they talk about Aegon the Conqueror. He had 2 wives, which were both his sisters. Like, this is some serious shit. When they want to keep this bloodline fresh, they mean business. And it doesn't matter, even if you're having to marry a 12-year-old little girl, unfortunately.
Yep.
So, you go back, they shoot now back to King's Landing, and the King Viserys is admiring the statue, foreshadowing, like Patrick said, I don't know if he was admiring the dragon itself or the statue, or admiring that it came from lovely Alicent Hightower. He's really having a problem thinking about, dude, what am I going to do? Am I going to marry this, Lord Corlys's daughter because he said, and it's going to establish an alliance, and because I have to propagate, or I mean, what do I do? Like, and so I don't know, who is he seeking advice from? Who was that man?
I just knew that he was a part of the council. I didn't know exactly who he was.
Is he there at the council meetings? Good. I didn't really know. Yeah, it was, I think it was about a 50-50 shot you had at survival back then, having babies. We know how often and how common it is for a baby to be breached. That's why women that are pregnant go get ultrasounds all the time, very frequently, sometimes in the late parts of their pregnancy, to determine the position of the baby. And nowadays, of course, we know that there's emergency C-sections that happen that aren't like last week's C-section, in order to get babies in bad position. Their cord could be wrapped, they could be malpositioned. There's so many different things. But yeah, it was not it was 50-50 shot that you were going to die or have a stillborn even baby back then. You see how many miscarriages a lot of these people had. I mean, even Daenerys's mother, I think I saw, had about 6 miscarriages in between by the time she was able to have her. He was like Sam, not a maester, but the other. What is Sam? I thought Sam ended up being a maester. He's at the Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
What is? Not sure. But what the guy says is, he's like, I need some advice, dude. Do I marry this little girl to keep this alliance? Or he goes, yeah, that's what you're going to do. That's what you need to do. I mean, period. You want to this is about the realm. This isn't about you. And you're going to have to do what you got to do. And she's like, but she's 12,
She'll mature.
Yeah, just give it some time. No big deal. She's going to give you plenty of heirs to choose from. But it seems
girl had that full little speech too.
That what?
For her, she had that full little speech that she had to say to him. He's like, "Did your dad tell you to say that?"
She's like, "Yeah, But it is what it is. But I think for me, I think the king was scared to reject Lord Corlys' proposal.
Absolutely.
He was seeking an unincumbent opinion from somebody. He was distressed about this. And a lot of the reason, and we didn't talk about this, that he was so distressed, I think, is because he really loved his freaking wife. He is still grieving, guys. He loved her. He assures Rhaenyra, I loved your mom, man. I don't want you to think that because I'm doing this, that's going to diminish the way I felt about your mother.
Yep.
And,
one of the only really big actual loving relationships that we see in Game of Thrones.
Exactly. Much different, like I said last week, than we saw with Robert and Cersei. I mean, much different.
Oh, yeah.
So here comes the princess from Dragonstone. She's like, what's up, Dad? What's up? What's kicking? And he's like, you disobeyed me. And he's trying to be hard. And he tells her, you don't. And then she responds with, I needed to take care of that with no bloodshed. I mean, that's what I needed to do. And then he just looked at her and he just softens up, sinks down in his chair. And it's like, you're just like your mother. You're just like her. And they both have a moment there.
Mm-hmm.
I think she feels guilty for it too.
Yeah.
The way you sink back into that iron chair, though, looks pretty dope, though. Not gonna lie.
Does it?
There you go.
Don't cut your finger.
Oh, I'm not weak. I know which side of the throne to sit on.
That's right.
So he folds. He says, you're like your mother. I loved your mother. I'm sorry for not being there more for you when this first happened. I want you to know I just didn't know. I want you to know I can't replace your mother. I don't want us to be estranged, Rhaenyra. I don't want you to think anything. And I almost and Rhaenyra is so sweet, and I love her so much already, guys. Like I'm gonna love her like I love Daenerys. I can feel it. I already know. And she's like, "Don't worry, Dad. You're the king. Your duty is to the realm." Mom would understand. Mom would totally get this. Like she gets it. I get it. Everything's fine. You do you. And she reassures her, and I almost think that this is going to set up and I don't know if he came out and said it, but did he come out and say, regardless, you're going to be my heir? Because I think that's a promise he ends up making her. I'm not sure if he says it just during this. He did say it. Okay. Yeah. Again, I was having a little bit of distractions, Timber. So, small council adjourns, and it's drum roll, please. I'm going to go ahead and get married, guys. I'm going to do it. Here comes Lord Corlys, gets all adjusted in his chair. He scoots up and he's like, go on.
Yeah, he looked excited.
He's so excited. He's just waiting. He's like, and the winner is Lady Lena Alicent Hightower. What?
Mm-hmm.
And Alicent's like, oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm going to start fidgeting. It reminds me of Pretty Woman. Like, quit fidgeting. Like, I was just going to keep saying it, but there's the fidgeting, the thumb. I'm getting scared.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
The thing she has with tearing her cuticles.
Oh, no.
It's a fidget. It's a nervous habit. And she's like, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. And then Rhaenyra, that understanding Rhaenyra changes real quick. She's like, you're doing my dad? Ew. Ew. Gross. Well, thank you. I'm the queen of the Iron Throne. Bend the knee, bitches. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, she's pissed. What did y'all think about this scene?
I mean, we had two walkouts. We had two pissed off people.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, that was pretty intense. I mean, I think it's going to end up turning out to be one of the biggest scenes of the season, because I think it's going to set off a whole bunch of reaction now.
Mm-hmm. Otto is very ha 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 ha. Lord Corlys, I went. And Corlys is pissed. Rhaenyra's pissed. They walk out, storm out, mad. And then for the big shock, the next scene, you have Lord Corlys talking to none other than Daemon.
Yep.
Why are you talking to Daemon? What was he trying to do? Somebody help me out.
Oh, I think we know what he's trying to do. Cause problems.
Yeah, but go ahead, Rebecca.
I mean, he's trying to cause problems. He's trying to, Daemon ultimately is the stronger hand of the two brothers. So
yeah, definitely.
He's trying to just get his business done at the same time, but at the same time, piss off the king and be like, you didn't do what I wanted you to do. So now you can go and I'm going to do what I want to do. So
exactly. And Lord Corlys is like, listen, Daemon, you're strong. Your brother just, he ain't cutting the mustard. He's telling Daemon, I'm having this problem with my ships. Your brother isn't helping us out. I don't know what the deal is. What I need you to do, and then, I'm sorry. He was like, don't you dare talk about my brother. I could talk about my brother, but you can't talk about my brother. You understand me? 10-4. And I was like, well, there's a little bit of loyalty, thank you, Daemon. But, you can see Daemon standing by the fire and he's like, but keep talking. Mm-hmm. And, he says something, he makes a statement that worth isn't given, it must be made. And he's trying to get him to go over there. And I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, to the Stepstones and fight these weird tribal looking crab people that are hijacking these ships. But I don't understand what I've kind of missed out on that part. And that scene was like, what is that going to do? I mean, I guess that's going to secure Westeros. It'll secure his business. It'll secure the ships to get through. And I guess essentially it'll make him the hero because he was able to handle these crab people. So I think what they're setting up is a scene for him to go with his army and go whoop their butts. Am I wrong or what?
It looks like it's coming in the next episode. So no, I think you're right.
Yeah. And then it ends. So what do we think? What do we think about tonight's episode? I thought it was awesome.
Patrick, how did you hear it's supposed to be the second worst of the season? How do you know?
Just one of the preview or not previews, one of the YouTube people I was watching about the trailer for this upcoming episode, and they got an advance copy from HBO of episode 2, so they were able to not share spoilers but talk about the episode and what they thought it was going to be. So I mean overall I think this is just another setup episode, kind of like episode 1 and episode 2 was. We had a lot more action in this one, needless to say, as people are now kind of creating their own paths, and I think that's all going to start coming to a head now. And now we're going to get the action. We're going to get some wars. We're going to get some hatred for each other, and I'm so excited. The show definitely has me hooked already.
Me too. Hooked. I'm in love with Rhaenyra. Like I said before, did I catch them talking about the large dragon that went back to Dragonstone? I guess I did not. Did y'all catch that?
That was the dragon that Daemon had. That was there, right?
This was when the king and Alicent were talking, I believe. Oh no! It was the king and oh my gosh, Lord Corlys's daughter. When they were going through their walk, she mentioned, "Hey, what about the largest dragon that ever was around? What happened to him?" And
yes,
do you know where he is?
Yeah.
So
nobody knows where he nests.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So I guess there's a larger dragon so it's not Damien's. King and 12-year-old were talking while they were walking.
Yeah.
Is that what they were talking about, the dragon? I'm sorry, I missed that. I was having to take care of my daughter.
That was one of the questions the little girl brought up is, do you know where he's at? Do you know where he nests? And King's like, no, but thoughts are people think he's here or there, or
Interesting. So I guess we have another dragon, because I think at the beginning, and I don't know if they were talking about like now that they had 10 adult dragons. I'm not sure, because I looked on, there's a app, or if you go on the Facebook, there's a House of the Dragon group. And in the very end, you see large gray nests. See, I need to be watching this with you guys backstage or something, because I missed so much. I didn't see the large nest. But that's going to be interesting. So I wonder if this is a male. Is it a male or a female? Did they say? I'm sorry, I missed that.
See, that's the cool part about these lives. Well, I'll catch something that nobody else did. So feel free to share.
Yeah, really.
The way they were talking, I felt they were talking as if it was a masculine figure, but I could be off on that. But that's how I took it.
So would a nest signify the fact that, do all dragons have nests? I'm just curious, because I think that I've only seen them being kept like in caves or like dungeon areas and stuff like that. But so it's the nest, do you guys think, or Arishas, do you think that the nest signifies that there's going to be more dragon eggs laid? And I wonder if these eggs are going to be the ones that were given to Daenerys years later for her wedding. I might be wrong. I might just be jumping to conclusions, but I'm just saying.
We're just hoping.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I need more Daenerys ties. Well, that is cool. So anything else, you guys? What is it? I think he said it was the King's Dragon. Okay, I think I remember that now. But I thought the King's Dragon. Okay, so the king has his own dragon. But does he ride it? Because I know that I know the skeleton of the dragon that's in the Red Keep. Is that where it's at? The Red Keep? Was Aegon the Conqueror's dragon. But I guess we're talking about King Viserys. There were hundreds in there. Hundreds? Hundreds of what? Interesting.
Dragon eggs, I believe.
Oh, really? I didn't see the dang nest. How did I miss a nest? Now I'm going to have to go watch it again. And let me just tell y'all, I had to watch the episode twice last week before I did this recap to kind of fully grasp everything, and I still didn't. So now I'm going to go back and watch this episode again, just for good measure.
I end up watching the episode twice or 3 times anyway, so I get it.
Oh, I do too.
Did you get it early this week?
Only about 10 minutes early. I was so disappointed. I've been looking all day for it. What?
Only 10 minutes early? They're slacking on that app. But
I didn't get it on the app. I will say that.
oh, I know. We're just going to call it the app.
Oh, yes, the app.
For a lack of a better term. So next week, what is the preview?
Oop, what was that?
Let's talk about the preview for next week before we end, and then give our last final thoughts, and then we'll say goodnight. So what was the preview for next week?
This is where Lord Corlys goes to Daemon and says, hey, I need to keep my house running. I need my money. I need your help. We need to go after these crab people.
Okay. And so they're going to go, they're going to get the crab people taken care of. And then Daemon, between the king's freaking wounds that won't heal. It's been also talked about maybe he's gotten tetanus. I don't know, but I don't necessarily think tetanus would make a gangrenous situation with that finger. They also said that the wound on his back was turning gangrenous too. They haven't showed that wound yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if that wound's also black. And he's going to end up getting septic and dying, you guys. I'm sorry. If we're going to incorporate this, it's being real. And with the medicine aspect, I'm telling you, you cannot sit around with a black finger and then expect it just to like rot off and everything easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's not how it works. You get the infection in your bloodstream. You get septic, you get hypotensive, you get tachycardic, and you get lactic acidotic. And then you end up going into what they call septic shock. And because I'm sure if they can't deliver a baby worth of darn back then, they surely can't. I think a long time ago, back in those days, and I listened also to George R.R. Martin's interview. If they have a podcast on Apple Podcasts, there's an interview with him that I found really interesting. But he says he based a lot of this on true history. He based a lot of this, like a Game of Thrones on War of the Roses. Back in, if I'm not mistaken, my mind serves me correctly, I feel like the War of the Roses was when they tried to incorporate religion into the monarchy, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Because I hated history. I hated it. But back then they also did a lot of they used silver to treat that was their natural antibiotic back then. So silver was used. And it's still, again, that's another thing that's still used today. A lot of people use homeopathic remedies such as colloid silver suspension and stuff like that as an antibiotic. So that's about all he's got to save his finger, to save his back. You've got two wounds now and I'm telling you guys, and I know that there's going to have to be some buildup with Alicent and the king because there does. I know what happens between them, and I'm pissed that I do, but unless they can fit that into one episode, because I don't know how he's going to get over this ailment that he's got going on.
Yeah.
So,
but he's clearly going to last a little bit longer because it's showing that he's going to be having
another heir.
Sure.
And you see in that one, I think it was at the preview that they said Aegon is going to be king. Is that what he said? Aegon is going to be king. So I'm assuming little Miss Alicent, with her fertility, is going to give the king a male heir. And what? Now there's going to be an issue. Now there's an issue.
Yep.
So I think that we're going to see a lot of conflicts, obviously, in the next upcoming episode. We saw her lifting the carriage. See, I didn't see that. I must have been writing a notepad.
Yeah, we saw the boy. He was.
Oh, that's right. And that's the blonde-headed one. Golly, my memory. Yes, the little blondie, the little stinky. He's blonde-headed and he's precious. That's right. Yeah. God, thank you. But yeah, we see that in the trailer for next week. So I was writing in my notepad when that was on. That's why I didn't remember. Yeah, we saw her lifting the boy into the carriage, and then he tells her, Rhaenyra, you're going to have a baby one of these days. And, she just looks at him. She's
not good.
But she does. Spoiler alert. So, but I'm not going to tell you with who, which I can't. What?
I can't believe who. I know who as well.
I know who too. Did you read the books?
No, just in research.
Doesn't she have
research? So we all know.
Two different people though.
I thought she had 2 kids.
I thought she had more than that with 2 different people. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, we know who the main one is that we're like, but we're not going to spoil it. I'm a bigger nerd on Aggron is a Pokemon. Huh? Aggron? You mean Aggron? But yeah, so and anyway, so there's going to be another heir. There's going to be a whole bunch of crap going down. We're going to have wars, dragons. We now thank you, Irish Last, for pointing out there's thousands of dragon eggs in this big huge nest and this lone dragon that we haven't seen yet. So should be interesting next week. I'm super excited. We'll try to get this scheduled better so that everybody that wants to participate can. Because I mean, and if this is the last, I guess they're probably playing on the West Coast right now. So maybe an hour later, or maybe next week we can do it the next day.
I'm in Arizona. It played at 6, and it's 8 o'clock now.
Well, where the heck is it playing so late then? I don't know where Sylvia is.
Maybe she just got a different.
Do you watch on the app, Rebecca?
No, I watched it on HBO on regular TV, but there's different HBO ones. But I saw like the first one was at 9 o'clock. So maybe no, she wouldn't be watching it right now then.
Well, like I said, as soon as the episode was over just now, I was waiting for Inside the Episode and it went right into playing it again. So I don't know if it's got several showings. Maybe you guys can look into that next week because I'm thinking, I don't know, because you would think that the West Coast would be the last to preview it, like they're the last to see everything. But East Coast was at 9 o'clock. Okay, so that's 8 my time, and that's the same time it was for me. But also, if you guys are watching through the app, I didn't know this, but if you have Hulu and you have the app, for some reason, we could play through Hulu or HBO. And I know that when we were looking through, there was like two different places you could watch it, and they were back to back. So I don't know. Like I said, learning curve. We'll get it figured out. But anybody, y'all have any last final thoughts before we end? We're approaching an hour.
No, I think it was a great episode, and it's only going to get better.
I know.
I hope more people come and get hooked and point out all the little things that we might have missed.
Yep. Maria can't get into it, she said. She's just not getting into it yet. She's going to try again tomorrow. But I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. So it just started for a third time. Did it play that many times last week? That's crazy. My gosh. They want to make sure everybody gets to see it. And that's great. But anyway, I'm glad for you guys that came in and joined us. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Rebecca, for being here. And we are going to get into it again next week. And I'm so excited about it. So we will see all of you later. Bye, everybody. And thank you all for listening. Bye.